So now it's time to turn in a book assignment. What do? Well, you could go to syllabus to find your first book assignment, but assignments seems more direct. And the first book assignment is down here, and it tells me it's due September 5th, late at night, if that's late at night to you. Clicking on it, we find out that these are the problems we should do. So one thing you could do is you could print this, write this down, or print it out, or take a screenshot of it, so that you have a list. But this says 5.1, page 310, problem 31. So let's try to go there. Page 310, problem 31. So we go to My Math Lab and Mastering. Open. Go to Multimedia Library. Choose the textbook. Since it was 5.1, this time I'm going to take the time to choose chapter 5 so I don't have to look at a bunch of them. Notice you have to scroll to find it. Now I want the problems in 5.1, but it was page 310. So when I go in here, it takes a while, but oh well. It comes up at the beginning of section 5.1, but I know I want 310 because your wonderful teacher told you. Hopefully it's correct. So I'm going to go to page 310 directly. And I need problem 31. I'm going to expand it a little, just using my touch screen. And this is problem 31, and it has similar directions to the software problem we looked at in the 7th software problem in the first software assignment in our previous video. So we're going to factor out the greatest common factor. Since the first term's negative, we're going to factor out a negative. And so making sure we know what the directions are, you can see them down here in the lower left-hand corner. And we could do that problem. Now the question is, where do we do that problem? And the answer is we do these book problems in order with pencil and paper. So coming back here to assignments and book problems. You're going to do these 16 book problems in order. And when you do them, sometimes you have to write down the problem itself. Sometimes you don't. It just depends on if you think it's necessary for you. But you must show your work. You must show complete work. You must show work that leads to the answer. It's no good simply copying the answer from the back of the book and then putting down a bunch of work that checks that answer. You need to get to the answer using the work that you've learned how to do in the videos. And so each of these 16 problems will be done. 5.1 has 4 of them, numbered 31, 45, 47, and 49. 5.2, starting on page 317, has 4 of them, 13, 17, 25, 31. And so when you do this, showing work for all of them, this is going to be a multiple page homework assignment for almost everyone, unless you believe in trying to write things really small. So then the question is, what do you do with that assignment? And the answer is a little strange, in that in order to show you how to turn it in, I'm going to have to become a student for a second. And I'm going to have to go to assignments. And I'm going to have to go to, let's go to book assignment 1. And notice when you come in as a student, there's something that says submit assignment. So how do you take your pencil and paper handwritten assignment that's in order, that's complete, that's rotated upwards? I don't really want upside down ones or sideways ones. And it's a pretty good job. How do you take that and transmit it to me electronically? And the simple answer is, it needs to be a PDF. You see file types PDF. So whatever you've done to take a picture or to scan your document, you need to save that document as a PDF. And it's one document for each assignment. It's not multiple pages. Don't turn in 4 or 5 or 7 or 9 or 20 pages. Just one page. So how do you do that? How do you scan this? There's lots of ways to scan. Some people have gone to the library and used their Xerox machines there to help them scan their homework. But most people use a cell phone for scanning. Some people use a printer. But I'm going to assume that most of you are using a cell phone. So this past summer I asked some students, and I asked my sister, and I asked my daughter what they would use. And the vast majority of people said Genius Scan. So there's lots of ways to scan to a PDF file, but Genius Scan seems to be people's favorite currently. So I'd recommend getting the free version of Genius Scan. Why pay $5 if you don't have to? And it starts off in batch mode, which means you take a picture of each page and it puts it all in one file. And you can look at it there, and you can rotate any of them that are out of order. You can fix them up a little bit. You can get it all the way you want. And then what I did is I emailed it to myself. That got it on my computer as an PDF file. And then I can turn in the PDF file. So I'm going to show you the little PDF file that I used. So I am going to choose a file. And it was this B1. I labeled it B1. This came directly from Genius Scan. And I'm going to click on Submit Assignment. Now it is sort of ridiculous to submit an assignment and not check it out. Because unless you've waited till the last second, you might have some time before I grade it to check it out. So you could look at submission details if you wanted. And in submission details, you can click on it and it will open it up. It'll want to save it. But you can open it up. And so this was my file. I took it just a few minutes ago, actually. On page 1, I did a problem. I showed some work. In my mind, for this problem, for a Math 89 student, that's enough work. That's the actual work that needs to be done to go from the multiplication problem to an answer. On the second page, I got bored, so I put, thankfully, I am done with this assignment. Yay. Notice the yay. Stuff at the bottom of your page can be chopped off if you're not careful when you do a scan, and if I can't see it, I can't give it a grade other than 0. So be a little thoughtful. Always check your submission like we're doing right now to make sure after the fact that you've turned it in, because you can resubmit if you need to. You can click on resubmit and submit it again. Now the only drawback to this is if you turn an assignment in early, I will sometimes correct the assignments, and once I've corrected an assignment, it's a done deal. So I'm not going to re-correct it again and again and again. You might want to make sure that you're careful about submitting these. It needs to be your best work. It needs to be one file. The pages on the file need to be oriented upwards, and so on and so forth. A couple more details. What happens if you're not ready for the book assignment? Well, I have some optional videos that I've made that you could look at. What are these optional videos? Well, it's examples from and ideas from your teacher. So you can see these. Assignment 1, section 5.1 through 5.4. This is section 5.1's video. And in it, I explain how to do the very problems that are assigned as book problems. I don't explain all the problems. Those the software videos are best for, but this is your teacher telling you how you should think about the actual assigned book problem. Some students find these very helpful and find the software videos less helpful. Others, it's vice versa. Some people find them both helpful. A few find none of it helpful and they don't like any part of the course. So these are here for you. They're not graded, but boy, I would recommend exploring them. The second thing I want to tell you is that in your electronic textbook at the end, there are some appendices that have answers to most of the book problems. You're supposed to be using those answers to check and see if you're right. And if you're wrong, you're supposed to fix your work and make your work produce the right answer. Don't just put down answers to book problems because you already have them in the textbook. They're meaningless. And it's not helping you learn anything. So use those answers. Your book problems, most of them, the odd-numbered problems at least, should be correct. And your job is to get the work correct that leads to that correct answer.